Hey friends, how are you? Hope you're well. Welcome to the next episode of A Book and a Bake. I hope you're going to enjoy this episode. I really enjoyed the book that I want to tell you about, and the bake is like just so nice. So the book I want to talk to you about is Once Upon a Beast by Kyra Jacobs. This is published by Tule Publishing. You will have seen on the slide when you start this video the publication date. I will also put it down in the comments, the description bar down below. So we meet Delaney, or Dell as she's called, and she runs how am I going to put this? Probably a plant or a garden transformation shop or centre, along with her friend. And he kind of does she's a landscape gardener, so that's possibly more where, she's a landscape gardener, designer, and her friend does, shall we say, the heavy work, and she does the planting, etc. But as well as that, she also works part-time in the family bookshop. And she loves being in the family bookshop. It was started by her mother, and her mother has deceased. And herself and her sisters and her aunt keep it going. And one night, her niece is driving towards her grandfather's farm, which is beside the landscape business operation. And Dell is driving back into town because she's due at the bookshop, and there's a storm going on, and suddenly this tree comes down on the road, and her niece swerves and ends up going into basically the garden beside a house. Now this house is, shall we say, unkempt, not very well kept up, and the guy that's living in it is supposed to be, a grouch, a hermit, etc. And Dell sees all this happening, and she sort of manages to go and check that her niece is okay. And the grouch comes out, and she's like, "Look, we'll get this towed in the morning. I will deal with all the landscaping that has to be redone, etc." And he's sort of a bit, and this is Isaac. And Isaac is hiding out in this small town for a reason. And he's trying to sort of stay away from people. But when Delaney arrives, so that's that side of the story. Delaney then arrives at the bookshop to discover there's been a leak, and that they're trying desperately to save books from being further damaged. The next morning, there's been damage done around town, and the council decide that they can't afford to help with the repairs for the roof of the bookshop, so they're going to have to do it themselves. So Dell and her sisters and various other friends in the town get together for a brainstorming session, and they try and come up with a few ideas, etc. And then, so they don't sort of get very, very far, and then she ends up going to Isaac's to try to, first of all, to get the car towed, and then to see what the damage is, and to start sort of deciding how she's going to sort the garden. And he seems a bit less grouchy, and they sort of get to talking. And through her talking to him and another couple of brainstorming ideas, it is decided that for raising funds, they're going to do a talent show. And Isaac ends up offering his services for to do something, and he and Dell are spending a lot more time together, and a lot of people are hoping it's going to be a romance. We're getting we also get in it what is happening, with Isaac, on why he's in the town, and what the situation is, etc., etc. It does eventually come out as to why he's there, and then people in the town set things in motion for something else to happen. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. And I liked the characters. I thought they were really well written. I loved the fact that there was a bookshop involved. It was really good. It sounded like one of these bookshops that you really want to go and visit and just spend time in. You know, it really was lovely. I liked Isaac as a character. I could understand why he was very reticent, why he was, you know, trying to not become involved, why he was, you know, scared of people, women in particular, and I liked the fact that Dell didn't push him. She just let him come out of his shell in his own in his own time and in the way he wanted. I like the fact that, you know, there were women in the town who were sort of trying to push them towards a relationship, but knew to back off at times as well, which was really nice. This was my first book by Kyra Jacobs. I would really like to read more by her. I'm going to go and see if this was part of a series, because I would really like to kind of read more from, if this was part of a series about you know, more about the town and the people in it. So it was really, really enjoyable. As I don't want to give too much away plot wise, because I think it's better that you go and read it yourselves and enjoy the story for the story. But that's it for the book review part. Just keep watching for the bake, because I think you'll like it. So enjoy. Welcome to the bake part of this video. I hope you're going to enjoy it. In the book there was cherry cobbler. So it was one of the big desserts that was mentioned, and I kind of found the recipe and I was like, nah, don't really fancy making that. But brownies were the other thing that was mentioned, and I thought, well, I like brownies, but as a dessert I also like Black Forest Gâteau, and I thought, I wonder, can I put the two together? So I found some recipes and looked at them and thought, right, okay, I know what I'm doing, and I'm going back to using a recipe that I found in the Good Housekeeping magazine, and this one is low-fat brownies. It uses oil rather than butter or margarine or anything, so I'm using that instead. And for the cherry part, I'm going to put in some glassy cherries. I'm going to cut them in half, and I'm going to wash them so I get rid of all the sugar out of them as well. And we have some black cherry extract, so I'm going to put a drop or a couple of drops in that. Also, to help reduce the sugar, there's supposed to be 5 ounces of muscovado in there. I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to do that. We don't have any muscovado in the house, so what I'm doing is I'm just using what I have. I've got light brown sugar, and I'll probably just put in 2.5 into it, because with the cherries and everything, even though I'm washing the sugar off, there's going to be some left anyway. So I'm just going to, you know, that'll make up if we really need the sweetness, but we don't. We really don't. So yeah, so I've got sort of everything lined out. I'm going to flip the camera around, let you see what I've got out, and the tray, and then we'll get on with it, okay? But I hope you're going to enjoy this, because I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, so I've lined the pan with greaseproof paper. It's a loose bottom one, but it'll come out easily. So there's the extract, the flour, the sugar, the eggs, the cherries, the oil, the chocolate, baking powder, and the cocoa. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to actually weigh out the chocolate, because it's got to be melted, but it says over a pot. I'm sorry, I'm using the ding. I'm using the microwave. Easier, quicker, and that. And then I'm just going to get on with doing the cherries, weighing them out first, then halving them and washing the sugar off. But once I'm starting to sort of weigh out ingredients and everything, I will get back to you. Okay, so that's 9 ounces of like dark chocolate chips, and I just chuck them in the ding, and I will melt them on like high power for 30 seconds, take them out, give them a wee sugar, and then put them back in and just keep going in 30-second increments until it's melted. So yeah, so that's the quickest way for me that I think to melt your chocolate. Yes, you can do it over a bain marie if you want, but I don't think there's any difference in shall we say melting chocolate in the microwave than in a bain marie. So, but yeah, I'll let you see it once it's melted. Okay, that's had a minute, so I've used a little spatula. This one really is great, it's rinky dinky. But as you see, some of it's beginning to melt, so that's after a minute. So I reckon probably another minute will get this melted. Actually, it only took another 30 seconds, and as you can see, there's still a wee bit lumps of chocolate in there. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to temper the chocolate with what's left of the, shall we say, this chocolate that hasn't yet melted, and it means that the chocolate will not sort of go funny in the brownies. But that's all nice and smooth now, and I'm just going to leave that to cool over here on the cooker, and it'll cool there until I need it. Right, I rinsed the cherries first, and then I chopped them up, so I've quartered them roughly, and then I washed them again, and I'm just leaving them to dry on this, so there's not a lot of moisture going into the cake. I will, to make sure they kind of, we'll try and make sure that they don't sink. I'm going to put them into a bowl just before I use them and toss them with a little bit of flour, so that hopefully it means they won't, like, shall we say, sink in the cake. The chocolate is cooling nicely, and I'm now about to start weighing out the ingredients. So I'm starting off with the dry ingredients first, and then I'll deal with the wet. So I have my flours. So I've got my flour, my baking powder and my cocoa measured out. It will need to be stirred together and sifted, but that's fine, I just want to get it measured. So I'm now going on to the wet ingredients of the oil, the eggs, plus there'll be sugar in it, the 2 extracts and some salt, and then I'll beat them together. But you know, I'm just going to start measuring that lot out now. Okay, that's the sugar, the eggs, the pinch of salt, the oil, there's a teaspoon of vanilla extract in, and I've put in 3 of the dark cherry. It says you can use 5 to 6 depending on your taste, so I'll have a check once I've got this all mixed up, and then if I want to add some more I will do. I kind of don't want to overpower this, so it's like really cherry flavour, but I want it there as a background note. So I'm just going to whisk this together until it's pale and thick. Okay, it's nice and thick now, and it's kind of leaving a bit of a ribbon, so that I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to make it any thicker. I'm quite happy with that. It's got lots of air in it, which is brilliant. So I now need to sift the dry ingredients into there, and I'll fold them in, and I'll fold in the cherries as well, and then hopefully that'll be it ready to go in the oven. Okay, put the cherries in a bowl, and I'm just putting about that amount of flour on them, and I'm just going to sort of gently coat them with that flour. I'm just going to take both hands, hold on. So I don't know if you can see, but they are coated, or they've got bits of flour on it, so that's fine, that'll go into the bowl. And then, no, I hadn't forgotten about my chocolate. I could hear people shouting, "But Fiona, your chocolate!" I knew the chocolate, so this all now goes into the bowl, and I will fold it all together. Okay, this is me almost finished folding, so all I'm doing is coming around from the edges, coming in through the centre, going around the edges. So all you do is just gently just fold your mixture over, and make sure you get the stuff that's at the side of the bowl as well, because you definitely don't want to lose that. But And make sure you go down to the bottom of your bowl, even angle it again. Then it means you get all the stuff that's down there. But this looks, I could just dive in there. Be good. So all I'm going to do now is just put it into the container. Okay, that's it, ready to go in the oven. I was very gentle when I was taking out the bowl. Actually, Dad was through, so he actually held the bowl while I gently put, you know, the mixture into the dish. And now this is going to, and I just gently evened it out. I just don't want to get rid of those air bubbles. So I'm now going to put this into the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. So I'll let you see what it comes out. And now the best bit of the baking. You know the bits that you leave at the bottom of the bowl? Yum. Oh gosh. Yeah, I didn't need to put any more of the cherry stuff in. So excuse me, I'm going to let the bowl clean because it's just so delicious. But as I say, I'll let you see the brownies when they come out. Okay, that's the brownie out of the oven. It just cools now in the tin. It cooked for it was actually took 30 minutes to cook, so you know, it looks good, but we'll let it cool and then I'll cut it and you can see what it looks like inside. Okay, so I'm about to cut the brownies, but I just wanted to let you see this texture on the outside. It's really nice. So, I'm going to consult as to whether I cut it in half and then do it that way, but we'll see what we do, but I'll let you see it once it's cut. Okay, so what I did was I cut it in half, and then I've cut half and half, and then I've cut it into 3, but that's what the texture looks like. It looks really nice, guys. So I will let you hear what people think when they taste it. Okay, this is Dad going for it. And just to let you know, he tidied his hair so that he'd look good when he's on the camera.
Yes, very nice, very nice. It's moist enough. It's not gooey, this one.
No, it's not going to be
nice,
gooey.
and finding the little bits of cherry, that's nice too.
Do you get the cherry flavour coming through?
Yes, I do indeed.
Oh, that's good. Cool, excellent. Good.
I'll eat more of it.
Okay, that's good.
I've got to be polite, you know.
Yes, Ma's gone in with a teaspoon. She's being dainty. Good. Cool. Excellent.
I did a lot of that.
Oh, good. Dad, we need to fill Mother up and that stuff. Good. Okay, it's now my turn. I'm not going to be dainty like Mother. I'm going to be like, I'll just shove it into my mouth like Dad. Oh, that is nice. I really like the cherry essence has not overpowered that at all. Oh, really happy. Good. Dad said it's not a fudgy brownie. It's a very light brownie, which is really nice. It's not going to fill you up. So, anyway, friends, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of A Book and a Bake. Let me know down below in the comments if you're going to read the book. Would you fancy making these brownies? I'd love to know. But until my next episode, friends, stay safe. Happy reading. Bye.